Hello, everyone. I want to thank you for watching this 5 Minutes to Freedom video with us today. This is video 13. And today we are going to drop some bombshell information. We are going to show how a judge named Judge Hanna, I believe it's in the Superior Court of Arizona, went after the GOP for their lawsuit to try to get an audit because the people had concerns and had mistrust for the results of 2020 election. While doing that, we are going to compare that to something else that the courts are doing in Arizona, and we're going to show you the big scam that's being placed on the people. Tune in. Okay, here's the Epic Times article explaining what happened in the case. Let's read. The plaintiff goes on to say that public mistrust following this election motivated the lawsuit, Hanna wrote. Hanna is the judge. The plaintiff is effectively admitting that the suit was brought primarily for an improper purpose. Okay, so I want you guys to realize that the judge has a problem with someone bringing a lawsuit just because someone has mistrust of someone else or something else. This is important for the rest of the video. Keep that in mind. Okay, it gets better. Public mistrust is a political issue, not a legal or factual basis for litigation, he added. Okay, Black's Law 5, definition of political. Pertaining or relating to policy or the administration of government, state or national. Okay, guys, so what I want you to see is that certain issues or arguments are political. They have nothing to do with the law applied in the state, the actual fundamental laws and the laws made in pursuance thereof, or the Constitution and the statutes that are made based on the Constitution. They more so have to do with public policy, how administrations want things to go, what types of things they believe they should be able to control, not necessarily violations of the black and white law and how people are affected when they do those types of things, and it is proven. Let's take a look at the Constitution so we can get an example. Article 2, Section 4 of Arizona Constitution. No person shall be deprived of life, liberty, or property without due process of law. Okay, so let's understand that Arizona is a common law land and that we must follow the common law first in order to make sure we're doing things right. The word I want you to look at is the word liberty, because you have a liberty interest in your children. Let's look deeper into that. Here's from a case, Troxel versus Granville, 2000, Supreme Court case. Justice O'Connor, joined by the Chief Justice, Justice Ginsburg, and Justice Breyer, concluded that 2610-163, as applied to Granville and her family, violates her due process right to make decisions concerning the care, custody, and control of her daughters. Now let's look at Part A. Due process clause has a substantive component that provides heightened protection against government interference with certain fundamental rights and liberty interests. Washington versus Glucksberg, including parents' fundamental right to make decisions concerning the care, custody, and control of their children. So we now see that liberty interest deals with the care, custody, and control of your children. Remember, the government cannot take away a liberty interest, your life, or your property without due process of law. So let's look deeper into what they owe us for this due process of law. Well, Article 2, Section 23, trial by jury. The right of trial by jury shall remain inviolate. Inviolate simply means they cannot take it away. So why is it that in Arizona, in CPS cases, they're allowing someone to take away your liberty interest, removing your children from you, from your care, custody, and control, but they will not give you a jury of your peers? So only a judge that is acting as a hearing officer and not a judge, and a CPS worker is deciding that you can't have your kids. Is that based on a common law, guys? Let's go back to Troxel versus Granville. Washington's breathtakingly broad statute effectively permits a court to disregard and overturn any decision of a fit parent concerning visitation whenever a third party affected by the decision files a petition based solely on the judge's determination of the child's best interest. Guys, I want you to realize the term best interest does not appear anywhere in the law, and it goes against the parent's will. Here's another, Article 2, Section 8. No person shall be disturbed in his private affairs or his home invaded without authority of law. We got to remember that authority of law does not mean the statute that's created for those who work in government and how they take care of things. The authority of law also has to deal with the Constitution and what the government officials swear to in the Constitution. So if they say that they will not interfere with a person in their private affairs, is your children and family part of private life? Let's see. So we're going to look about halfway down the page, and we see where it clearly says there's normally no reason for the state to inject itself into the private realm of the family to further question fit parents' ability to make the best decisions regarding their children. Did you guys catch that? We just find that the Supreme Court explains that the raising up your children and your family is in the private realm. See, they hide the difference between the public, which is government stuff, and the private, which is people in a capacity that is totally outside of government, separate from the realm of government. The public and the private do not mix. Now, what they're doing, guys, is they're taking children when a CPS worker has mistrust for a mother or a father. So in this case, it was a grandparent and a parent. But in most CPS cases and in DCS cases in Arizona, we find that a DCS worker comes before a judge and says, I have concerns. There's Cheerios on the floor. There's dirty dishes in the sink. I think the parents might do this. Or I heard that the kid said that this might have happened, and there's no evidence or proof that anything really happened, and no court, no judicial court that had a trial by jury that said a parent did anything wrong. Yet Arizona is taking 1,000 kids a month and making $1 billion a year. It is a political argument because they feel that they should have the right to take children for a child's best interest that doesn't exist in law. As a matter of fact, what if I told you guys that the CPS workers and the guardian ad litems in Arizona and the judges all know, the judges are not actually judges, they're hearing officers administratively, not courts, but they all know that they are breaking the law, but they're being trained to do it, so they feel like since they're all in, it doesn't matter. That would sound crazy, right? Well, take a look at this. This is from a guardian ad litem handbook from one of the counties in Arizona. Watch this. We say that the court is not about parental fault. That is actually true under the law. However, the dependency process is a terrifically human. While the law may say otherwise, in actual practice, fault, blame, shame, and attitude, and a host of other technically irrelevant considerations play a huge role in determining what will or will not happen to a child in the court process. None of the participants, including judges, case managers, therapists, and lawyers, are immune from the visceral reactions to parental behavior. This will no doubt include you as well. I'm about to fall apart. So notice they said their court is not about parental fault. So in a court, an actual court of record, they're trying to find out who's wrong and who's right. Notice that's not what they're doing here. Also, they tell you, even though the law says otherwise, the law tells you what it's supposed to be, we're going to use blame, shame, attitude, and other technically irrelevant things in order to make sure we're going to decide if a kid goes with the parents or not. So nowhere in the law does it say that some third-party agency that makes $1 billion a year gets to look at you, not like your attitude, not like your personality, and steal your kid from you and train people to do so. Guys, I just showed you the guardian ad litem handbook, and I believe it's Pima County, Arizona. So what you have to understand, guys, is that they are training these people to break the law. They are not looking for fault. A lot of you guys believe that if somebody's kids get taken, that it was their fault. These people can get a tip from somebody who's mad at a parent, and they could be lying. The CPS court can know they're lying, and in many cases, they will hide evidence showing that a parent was not wrong. But they will fish through your house and do an audit and try to find anything to punish you for so that they could take your child without telling people that they make $83,000 to $140,000 a year for every child that they take. And the money is split up between those same participants who are knowingly breaking the law to take your kids. Guys, we have a jury in Arizona that is to be inviolate in all cases. We have the ability to see your accuser, which doesn't always happen in CPS matters because they're not really cases. We have the ability to not be disturbed in our private affairs, but they are entering the private realm of family life because the attorneys and the judges are hiding the truth about the fact that they're running a trafficking scheme. And this is what Donald Trump went against that caused him, I believe, to get in trouble. Donald Trump lowered the number of kids going into foster care over the last 3 years. Donald Trump went against the idea of trafficking through CPS, and he even carried or created a executive order in the middle of COVID, which said that he wanted to get high-level attorneys to block the petitions of CPS attorneys to take kids that were being taken unlawfully. So guys, this is the real pandemic. This is the real issue. This is the real epidemic. This is the real problem. It is people who are stealing our children, stealing your kids, guys, blocking you from controlling their health care, blocking you from making decisions without due process of law and without the common law. This video is yours. Let's do something. Let's make it happen. Thank you, guys.